Hi everyone! Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 138.
Welcome!
I'm Bethany, this is Sparky.
You gotta move the seat up.
Who's this little one?
Scoot the chair up.
Okay,
Ugh.
sorry. Who's this one?
This is 10.
10?
10.
Like number 10?
Like 10.
Oh my god.
Like
Okay.
TEN 10.
I think it means angel.
Aww.
Are you an angel?
Looks like a little angel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That tongue went right up my nose.
So cute.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna jump right into questions, but if you have one, you can put it in the comments below and we'll try to catch it. Do you wanna go first with this one?
No, it's too long. You gotta read that. You gotta
yeah,
paraphrase it.
there's stars.
Oh, you got long ones. Okay. All right. Flourish and Bloom Wellness. I have a 4.5-month-old F1B Goldendoodle. Thank you for age and breed. It does help tremendously.
Yeah.
She is training well except for one scenario. When I drop my kids at school, she gets wild, overwhelmed, I assume. We walk into the field, so people are all at a distance, but she keeps pulling and just acts super excited and doesn't listen. Can you please tell me what to do in this case? I want to expose her to this common part of our life, but something needs to change. 4.5-month F1B Goldendoodle.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a little too soon for that. I think that you need to do more training outside of a really busy, high stimulation environment. Think about going to, Ricky, the mic's not working?
Oh no, they're good. I forgot to remind Bethany. She wanted a reminder to only ask or answer the questions asked.
The reminder. So we actually answer your questions and not create ones of our own.
Yes.
Oh, but that's our favorite part.
I know, but we got so many.
This took longer than just answering the question and creating a new question out of the question. All right. So I would focus on less stimulation, quieter areas, and you want to build up more focus in those areas. So give an example. If I'm training a dog to walk in front of my house, no, it's not a separate question. It's still part of the question. I'm thinking about it. Now I'm really thinking about it. You teach a dog to walk in front of your house. You start inside your house. You start in your backyard, front yard, driveway, and then the sidewalk. You want to get to go into the school. You start walking your neighborhoods, getting a really good focus, getting a really good walk, a good heel, being able to grab your dog's focus with food, even in low distractions, and you build your way up. You'll know you're ready to go to that school when you can stand outside the school, your puppy looks at a kid, and you can be like, puppy, come, good. Food, and then turn and move in the other direction. And you can cycle through that. You practice it long enough, you're gonna have a dog that can probably exist next to you calmly with all these distractions. You gotta wait until you have that.
Yeah.
You wanna add?
Yes, I think that if you feel like you're doing good on all the fronts that he mentioned, it kind of sounds like you might be, you need to find a middle ground. And so you've got to stop. Well, you don't got to do anything. Sorry, but you
got to do it.
You got to stop doing what you're doing.
Don't point the finger.
Putting your puppy in that situation and kind of losing because that habit is getting so ingrained. So what I would do is I would play with trying to find a medium. So I would put a crate. I wouldn't leave this puppy loose in the car because it'll just go berserk as your kids are inside and you're having to walk somewhere with them. You need a crate. So you need to get a crate that fits in the car in the back or something. And not a cloth crate either. I wouldn't do that either, but a wire crate that you can put in there. Or, I mean, it can be a plastic crate too. Sometimes they fit better. Sorry, I'm just thinking about what fits best in vehicles. But my point is I would leave the puppy in the crate. He'll probably whine, but at least he won't get super worked up, going nutty. I handled the kid situation. I've walked them to where they need to go. Then I come back. And there's still some people trickling in, and I'm able to give more distance. And my puppy's not watching his family leave them to go into a building. That's a big one. And most of the kids maybe are already in there.
It's triggering.
Yeah, and it's just like a few stragglers, or maybe nothing, and you're just working outside the school. That's what I would do first. I'd do that for 15 minutes every day for 2 weeks, and then I might try having my puppy out. If I had a small breed mini doodle, if I can control that mini doodle holding it, I might even hold the mini doodle. That might be my second stage after the first one that I mentioned, where I actually hold as the kids go off and it gets all wiggly. No, cut it out. That's only if you have that ability. And I don't pet or anything like that. It's just like it's not like that. It's just a very neutral, business-like hold, cut it out.
Coach purse on your arm.
Yep. And then work my puppy. That might be the middle stage if small enough. But anyway, those are some tips for you to start with, but definitely don't put that puppy in that position. day in and day out without changing it up, making it easier in some way.
If you get screaming in the car, not ready for them going in the car to that pickup.
Yep,
You got to do some
exactly.
shorter trips first, easier trips.
Exactly. All right, Raymond says, I've got a 6-month-old Catahoula. Oh, Raymond. When we have to go in the car, he's very scared. He doesn't get in. After assisting him into the truck, he shakes and drools excessively, eventually throwing up. He's very loved at home. He's a good boy. I don't know why this is, and all I want to do is help him. Please help me.
It's the same reason why my wife can't fly without 3 Xanax. It's anxiety and fear. It's anxiety and fear. It's nothing. It's not that the dog's not well loved. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just the dog. The dog just has, by the way, she's sitting right there.
The wife is right there.
Half a foot away. I'll get the punishment after for that one.
I hope that's like within your boundaries conversation you've had about what to share with everybody online.
But you're not doing anything wrong. It's just you're not doing enough to help the dog build up comfort, but you wouldn't have known what to do. Go.
Seriously?
Yeah, go.
Okay, 6 months old.
I do this talk like 4 times a day. Ouch.
A lot of. Why would you get little sharp puppy teeth?
I think he yawned on my hand and it didn't feel great.
What I would say is there's a bit of a misconception when it comes to training things that dogs are really fearful of, and what I mean by that is all the love in the world is not going to help this dog. It's going to be leadership and being strong for your dog and working them through these tough situations with a little bit of tough love, which means, you know, if they're really upset, you can't be upset with them. You're not helping them. It would be the same if a kid was sick. It doesn't help.
Same with emotional. Same with affectionate.
Yeah.
You can't be affectionate either.
Exactly. And so what I would do is, first of all, can your 6-month-old puppy stop at your front door, watch the door open, and not fly through it? Because if you don't have that, you're never going to get anywhere with the car. The reason why is there needs to be some element of control and habit, like stop and sit at door, open door. Walk out door, stop and sit, close door. Like the puppy needs to trust in this habit that you're building in order to transfer that to the car. Open car, sit, food, maybe if he'll take food. And then yes, you might pick him up, put in car, go to open it. He tries to bolt out. No, he waits for permission, pick up leash, pause, come back out. So there has to be this element, and you can't just do it with a car. You need to start when it's easy with like front door and back door and things like that. This element of leadership where the dog can trust in you, okay? And follow you, right? That's why this works. That's why this improves this. The other thing is just from a sick perspective, your dog probably feels ill. Like it's not just working itself up to throw up, but there's probably an inner ear puppy situation happening more than most puppies.
Her dog has this, by the way. That's why she knows so much about it.
Where you're having this legit issue. And honestly, the way I got my dog over it is I started with a down in the back seat, training a down. Maybe he's already laying down, but training a down. And that started to help him feel like I was in more control. And he started to improve, and then he learned that if he didn't look out the side windows, he felt better. He learned that on his own, just over time of me doing all this other stuff. Now I let him sit and look forward, and he only lays down if he's feeling good, honestly. So I started with all this structure, and this is what you need to do. You have to do this. I said so. And then with that, I was able to loosen up my routine over time. So I just want you to keep that in mind. And don't go for car rides. Like 5 times every other day or 5 minutes in and out of the car, even if you're picking him up every time. In, out, in, out, in, out. I do that for a week. The second week every other day, I would get in too and start the car and then shut the car off. Come out, let him out. And then I'd do 5 just easy reps in and out. You can add food if he'll take food. That would be the next step. And then just going for short rides. Make sure it's not only to the vet. Start going down the street to the park. Like 3 times a week, and he's gonna get, within a month, he's gonna be like, oh, I get to at least go to the park, and it's going to make his excitement override the nervous anxiety. So little things that you can do to help with that. You have anything to add?
You hit everything. You hit everything. You even hit the part of going slow and not rushing it with short drives. But I was waiting to add that.
I did forget to say, because this has been a big thing for me, is you need to drive like an old lady, which I know you can't do. It's impossible. But you don't slam on the brakes. Like you are, well, not my grandma. My grandma was a maniac. Other people's grandmas. Like,
I was like, you don't want my grandma to train me to
yeah,
drive.
she was like vicious on the road. So slow on the brake, slow to release the brake, slow on the gas. Like you got people honking behind you, you're doing it right, because that will make them feel more comfortable.
Oh God, the anxiety that gives me.
Okay, we're gonna another long one, so we can take this stage by stage. Hadley Evangeline says, and I know we saw a question on TikTok. We are gonna get to that. First time puppy mom here. I'm fostering an 11-week-old large breed puppy. He's in a vulnerable spot. 16 weeks post last parvo before he can be out, and I need to socialize him. So it's another 4 weeks to go indoors. You're asking the wrong people, because I'm just against this in every way, shape, or form. But I cannot advise you to not listen to me unless your puppy is, or advise you to listen to me unless your puppy is already sick. The idea that a puppy stays indoors for weeks, even a couple of months, it's so detrimental to them psychologically. It's very scary. Usually, at least this is how it was for me growing up. My vet said after 2 boosters, that as long as you're careful, don't put them in grass with wild animals or in a heavily infested area of like Giardia. You do have to be conscious of things that are going on in your area. But if you just have them on concrete, you can take them to the park. You can do things with them. You can take them out. So for me,
you just can't socialize them with other dogs. They can't
that you don't
nose
know.
to nose.
Yeah, that you don't know. Dogs that you don't know. So I don't know. For me, this is super scary.
This is a tough one, because 2 years ago this wasn't a thing. Maybe even 1 year ago it wasn't a thing. It's only in the last 2 years. I think the leptospirosis virus
scared
that
everybody.
came out. It really scared
Understandably.
people.
Understandably.
And vets.
Yeah.
I still have some vets that are like, second round, you're good to go. But now a lot of vets are saying you need to have the rabies on top of it. Like, that's like, oh, Kimberly, he's dead. He's dead.
So cute.
I got some good cuddles though. Man, mom's gonna be jealous. No, I'm just kidding. But this only changed in the last 2 years. It makes our job very difficult as dog trainers, because the socialization window is between, I would say, about 10 weeks and 16
They
weeks.
say 6 weeks because they're with their litter.
Yeah,
but
okay, that's fair. But they get the litter time with that.
Yeah.
And most people get a dog about between 8 and 10 weeks, 10 and 12 weeks, sometime around there. If you aren't taking your dog out and socializing them, and that doesn't mean nose-to-nose contact with the
Just
dog.
existing.
I'm talking like, get one of those slings, not against your belly,
Big breed though.
on your side. Oh, shoot, man.
I mean, you can
Gosh,
get a
that's
wagon
challenging.
if you can train your puppy to stay in a wagon.
Not a wagon. Get one of those things that you tow behind a bike. You don't have to put it on your bike though. You can literally just get like one of those like
Pull it.
little things and you just pull it through the park.
Your puppy's got to get out. That's our point.
You got to do something with them. Otherwise, they're going to hit 16 weeks and then you're going to go to some kind of puppy training and they're going to kick you out because your puppy's reactive.
There's more.
Okay. I'll let Bethany finish.
My sister has a cattle dog who is 15 months and doesn't want to be around her because they're nippy, excessive grunts, growls, wagging tail, over the moon to see the dog, can't contain himself, and then that goes to nipping, biting,
At
arms.
least it went towards the positive and not fearful aggressive.
That's
so
true.
Good.
That's true. But
you
then
got lucky with that.
But then it turns into arm biting, leg biting for us. How do we help redirect his energy? 16 weeks old, you don't. You need to start to use a leash to calm the dog down. We're going to go into that in a minute.
There is no control. It's just it's tempering the energy through training and structure.
I love seeing this, and I'm gonna sound harsh, but I don't mean it towards you, Hadley. This is not towards you at all. The next thing I'm about to say, I have puzzles, sniff mats, all these things to do while he's in quarantine, and they have a little backyard. But I'm at a loss. Stop using the puzzles and sniff mats now.
It's build and drive.
Well, the sniff mats aren't bad. Like the snuffle, I think she means snuffle mats. I actually like the snuffle mats, but that's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying it because we have all this cool Instagram and TikTok cute stuff, cute videos with our dogs doing this. And you're watching your dog do this for 10, 15 minutes or however long it takes.
When instead you could be.
You should be in the backyard on a leash, training recall and calm with food and building impulse control, and in the front yard and in the house and working on thresholds and going in and out of crate 20 times a day for fun, for food, and play and drop it and throwing the ball and tug. Like, we need to be engaging. This is, Hadley, this is not for you. You clearly are very on top of it. We need to be engaging our dog and bonding with our dogs that don't include all this side stuff. Because what's happening is we get all the cute stuff first and we expect that to somehow calm our puppies down. Well, it doesn't work. If anything, it just makes them want to do more. And so we need to focus on the human dog first. And then when you're in a good place and you're bored because you've done everything and things are great with your dog. When you're bored and it's a rainy day and you can't go to the park like you usually do, then you pull out the snuffle mat. Okay, sorry, this is my soapbox. That was not for you, Hadley. You might be able to take something from it.
Sure, Bethany.
But it was,
sure.
No, it wasn't. Stop it.
I
She
know.
clearly, look at this. She's very on top of
Hadley,
it.
you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And the fact that you gave us so much detail means that you've
Good
tried.
Good detail.
You've tried all this and it hasn't worked. So you're here for advice, and we appreciate that.
So here's plugging the online school. You need to get in our school or some sort of program. You need a program. Otherwise, you need to go spend 24 hours. Not like all at once, but a lot of time on YouTube developing your own program. Those are your options, because you got to get on training and impulse control and things like that with your dog, with your new puppy.
For me, what it comes down to is I may not agree with your vet, but your vet is a professional, and I'm not in that profession.
Disclaimer.
However, you are your dog's sole sense of entertainment.
Yeah.
If it's play and affection, that is your life. What you pet is what you get. You
Yeah.
pet high energy, you get it. If you become the sole trainer and most of your interactions are training, you're building a relationship in a good, positive spin.
Yeah.
Your dog will learn to respect you, not just as a playmate, but as a leadership figure. They will actually literally look up to you.
Yeah. And don't go to dog parks, but try to find other people with dogs and that are fully vaccinated, that are tolerant of pushy puppies. Like you have to find out. And they may not know. You might find out the hard way, but that's part of the learning process.
Let's go for one of the questions on here.
Well, you need to log into TikTok. I was just about to tell you. There's some questions. So I'm going to do this one. Usually we don't like to multitask because it looks like he's not paying attention, but he never really is anyway, so it's fine.
I could not be paying attention to still be paying attention.
That's actually true about him. Teresa says 5-month-old Goldendoodle will not listen. I've trained 5 Goldens, a Saint Bernard, a Husky, and another Saint Bernard. I don't know. I've never had a doodle mix. She ignores me. I'm trying to interpret. No, trying to interpret her passion
But
here.
you're a judge slamming his gavel down.
No, she aggressively plays with the Husky and whines. I'm an actor. Did you forget?
I do forget.
Okay. Whines constantly. She's trained on many commands. She decides when she's going to listen, when she's not. Barks and growls at people and dogs on walks. 5 months old. That's challenging. I have a brain injury, and she's supposed to be my service dog. Man, Ricky, why'd you give me this one? She makes me deliver challenging news, but I think you already know what I'm going to say. All right, service dog, once complete, we can do the next steps. Once my 27-year-old daughter accidentally stepped on her tail, she full-on bared teeth and went at her. My daughter wasn't fazed. She's fine, but she's trained horses and stuff, but I'm worried she'll do this to someone else. Yeah. So she has a high defensive drive. So she doesn't have a lot of tolerance, and she has a lot of defensive drive. So here's the thing. We got to address the service dog thing first. Maybe you've had other service dogs in the past, Teresa, because I know some people do train their own service dogs from a puppy, and they do it successfully, right?
I worked with a woman last year that trained her own service dog.
Yeah.
98%, and all that's left was the task that I had to teach him, and that was pretty easy.
So it is possible,
But
but
99.9% of owners will fail at training their own service animal.
Yeah.
And that's not
That's
a
not
made-up
your-
number.
and that's
from my experience of working as a service animal trainer for almost 9 years now. And I've probably put at least 25 to 30 service animals on a plane every 6 months.
So here's the thing though, this is what I want to be really clear about, Teresa, that's not necessarily a reflection on your training, because I know you said you trained other dogs. That's not a reflection on you. It's the fact that you just get a puppy and it's the wrong puppy for a service animal. And even if you had tweaked everything at 10, 12 weeks old in a better direction, it doesn't matter. It's the genetics aren't there.
There are dogs that people will get and they bring them to me for service animal training. And I know within 18 seconds of working or seeing this dog, I can tell an owner, this is not a service animal fit. And what I mean by that is they don't have the temperament. And to train them to be that temperament breaks down everything that makes them who they are as a dog.
Yes.
Their personality.
And
when people...
I hadn't even thought about that.
Because I've had one gentleman that was very adamant.
You're trying to force them in a box.
It's like putting a large person in a small box and breaking every bone in their body to make it happen. You break every part of their will to make them into that, because a service animal literally has to ignore everyone but their owner. Work for anyone. Or work for the owner and not anyone else.
Yeah.
You're literally training them to exist for you and only you. And
it's hard.
That's a really challenging breed to do that with.
I mean,
even
they fail.
German Shepherds are hard.
They fail all the time in facilities. They fail out and they have to go to normal homes. I mean, it's a very hard thing to do. And then I just want to add to that. There's also the fact that when you're training a service animal, and I only know this because of Sparky, he just didn't say it, is usually it's, and I worked with a family that recently did this. It's so cool. They actually, somebody else raises the puppy, and they actually will be sent to someone else's home to continue the training. But that is not the family. They want them to mature in a household that's like familiar with this type of training and will do, XYZ.
They don't give affection. They mainly just give training.
Unearned.
It's very, 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 very strict for the dog, so they're ready for the next owner.
And then they're transitioned. And this family that I worked with, they had done 4 labs and 1 Goldendoodle, and one of the labs failed, and they ended up keeping that lab, and that's my point, is that I'm going through all of this and he's going through all of this because we're not trying to pick on you, Teresa. We're just saying this is the reality. And I have to say, this whole service dog thing is out of control. People are getting bit. Bad stuff is happening out there because people are slapping on the service dog label. So that's why we have to spend some time going into this. But we are going to help you, Teresa. I'm sorry. But that was really necessary to go into.
And that's not just for you. That's for a lot of people.
That's
for
what I mean.
a lot of people who are thinking
That's
about
why.
doing it. You don't get a dog to be a service animal. You have a service animal and you look for the right dog for that fit.
Yep. Okay,
By
so
the way,
anyway.
to train a service dog takes about 60 to 80 grand to have it done professionally in a facility to do all the things you just mentioned. So maybe that is something that you want to look into. Insurance does cover it. They just have a wait list.
And people are going to be mad at me for this, and Teresa, you might be mad at me for this too. But if I am someone with a brain injury and I need a service animal, I'm really sorry, everybody. Please don't come at me. Please don't write mean letters, okay? I am going to talk to the breeder, and I am very likely not going to keep this dog. And if it's an ethical breeder, it will take this puppy back, and I am going to try again.
Bro, I'm afraid for you.
I know. Me
Have
too.
I ever called you bro? Because I'm scared for you.
Me too. I'm scared. Okay, let's actually...
Death threats are coming, Ricky.
Let's actually help Teresa now, okay?
She said give a puppy away if it's not the right fit.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, anyway, Teresa, let's talk about this.
The internet's coming for you.
We've got a lot. Like all the little hearts have stopped on TikTok.
Give her a heart, guys. She needs it.
Come on. No, none. They've all left. Okay, anyway.
There you go, Bethany. That's
Anyway,
for you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
for
you. Thank you. It makes me feel better. Okay, we have got a 5-month-old puppy that has defensive drive, barking, growling at people, dogs, all that stuff. So, is this dog on leash? Oh, someone gave me a lot of hearts and it wasn't you. Thank you.
She needed them.
I needed them. I did feel bad. So this dog needs to be on leash all the time. And I know that seems crazy, but we need to be managing this dog's emotions all the time. It can't be looking out the window. It needs to be redirected immediately. You're walking around with a food pouch on, and any nastiness at all, like even if it's minor, just a little bit of a growl, a little
It
bit
can
of...
even be a hyper focus.
Yeah.
a deep stare.
Yeah, we are redirecting. And when you get resistance with the redirecting, you're gonna do pressure up immediately. I probably wouldn't go in correcting this 5-month-old until I'd worked with it for a month on creating as little conflict as possible. And believe it or not, leash pressure, I'd probably get a slip leash pressure straight up in the air, waiting the dog out, relaxing, will really help reduce conflict. Now I can move and do that at the same time. I can be walking, working on my let's go work, my come, stop and sit, my stay. We see a dog, alertness, I redirect, doesn't work, dog reacts anyway, pressure up in the air as I'm walking away. And then as soon as the dog kind of settles a little bit, now the feet aren't off the floor, but they are feeling pressure up.
Enough pressure to elevate the head above the shoulders, and the only time the feet comes off the floor is if they try to jump up to grab the leash or counter you.
Yep.
That's not you strangling them, choking them, nothing like that. That's them just combating it.
And then we are getting the puppy, calmer just by giving distance, and we're not feeding into it. I'm not trying to give food. I'm not trying to say no. I'm just like, pressure up, let's go. And I start walking. And then when I feel the dog calm down, I calm down, or my intensity lessens, and then I just try to get them engaged again. You can try pet corrector, squirts out air, as an interrupter, but pet corrector doesn't work when they're barking. It's when they're alert and they're thinking about barking. Shh, come, let's go, good. So those are the things I would start to work on. Make sure your thresholds are super tight. They do not go out of a door without permission. Start to incorporate blocking for thresholds if you haven't already, because that body language is really important. If you can tell your dog to go to place and she steps off, if you can't walk into the dog and then reset themselves, you don't have enough meaning from a body language perspective. So that would be another thing to work on. What else?
Everything she's just said is hard for a dog trainer to keep up with, let alone an owner. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Trust me when I say that. We would highly recommend you seek out one-on-one balanced dog training, but not a service animal trainer.
Right. You just
one-on-one balanced dog training for the reactivity aspect of it. And if you still want to seek out training after for service, reach out to someone. They'll do an eval on your dog after they've been trained.
Yes.
And if they think they can pass
that's what he
and do
does.
it,
That's
they'll
what
do
he,
it.
That's what he does all the time.
I did it 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's what he does all the
Super
time.
common.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Then you're working on desensitizing things like tail grabbing and stuff like that.
That's a long question. I want to go over it.
It's actually not a question, is it?
Oh.
BK Hey. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. This also happens with emotional support animals. Folks are getting certified, thinking it's enough. Hate that mentality because it hurts the proper service animals who are good. Especially because the service dog industry isn't a regulated, certified thing.
It's a huge gray zone. There is no government regulation except for, there's honestly no real regulation.
Except if you lie and they take you to court.
Do you know how much it is now?
There's serious penalties.
$10,000 federal fine.
Here.
It's federal.
Oh, it's federal.
Federal. And up to 6
60
months of federal imprisonment.
It was 60 days in jail. Now it's 6 months.
months of federal imprisonment. Woo! That is tough.
I better tighten up my dog.
Yeah. So I'm only mentioning it though is because it is a huge thing. And I've had my clients go on planes with DPT, deep pressure therapy animals. And when they're on the plane, I've had their dogs get attacked by a fake service animal who literally paid a dog trainer to pass them on the registry.
Yep.
And now there's a very specific registry of only a certain amount of dog trainers that work through airports, me being one of them, who works in areas, and you have to go through those specific dog trainers that are registered with the airport registry. And maybe that's just LA, I'm not 100% certain, but all of my clients, when they get ready to fly a dog, Glassdoors is a company that works with the airport. They call me to confirm their training and confirm certification.
Yep.
So it's a big thing now. It's a big thing.
You want to do the TikTok question?
Yeah. All right. I'm scrolling.
Yeah, scroll.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I see 122.
Teresa,
All right.
we went on a rant and we took up all that time. You helped me with the rant.
Okay, I'll take that. I did help with it. I just want to be included. All right, Shiny Lime. I have a new puppy, Pomeranian. She doesn't seem to listen. She's energetic and barks a lot. Oh, The second one just had the hearty faces. I like the hearty faces. That's good. She doesn't seem to listen. She's energetic and barks a lot. Do you have a harness? Do you have a leash on her? Are you working with her training? Is she being crate trained? Are you working on place command? What's the structure in your home? Have you gotten her on a structured schedule? These are all the questions I'd be asking myself.
Those are all things that build impulse control as well. That's why he just shot at you like
because you'll have this recording that you can rewatch,
Yeah.
and those 5 things I just asked you, I want you to go back and ask yourself those questions. And if you're not doing any of them, get onto it. Structure schedule we can give you guys. You just got to go on our blog, and there's a link that connects you to the schedule that you can kind of build your own off of our.
Sign up for the free masterclass in our bio.
Sign up for the free masterclass in our bio.
We have a
On
free
Instagram.
And TikTok.
Woo!
It's
so
everywhere.
On Instagram and TikTok,
Everywhere.
we have a masterclass that you can go to the bio and sign up for, just to be really clear. And you can check that out. And yeah, we have an online school. You can go to thepuppyacademy.com, click on the online section. A lot of this stuff boils down to the leash. Puppies are not on a leash enough. There's a woman who just on here, Debbie DeWitt, just said, I totally said that wrong, but how to get her puppy to stop jumping on the couch. You cannot get in a fight with your puppies, guys. Like, you're going to create so much conflict, and they're going to become more fighters and bitey and more frustrated and yelling no. You got to get that leash to get ahead of things. It's just like you don't want your toddler sticking their finger in an electric socket. You know, we're puppy proofing, right?
I did that.
We're baby proofing. I believe
I
it.
absolutely did that.
But or knocking something down on the counter on their head, which is the same thing as a puppy jumping on a counter and eating a sponge and having to have it cut out of them. And so during these early phases, it's really about the leash, a schedule, and being preventative. I know it's a lot of work, but we now have puppies in our homes, and it is a lot of work. So, are you done?
I was just reading the questions, yeah.
We're done. We're done.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes. Done. All right, guys, thank you so much. And we kind of prioritized our written in questions this week.
That's because also we've been trying to prioritize you guys on TikTok and Instagram.
Which
We're
we
switching
will.
off.
We will next week. We're going to prioritize our questions. So if you didn't get your question asked this week, come back next week and put it in the comments, and we'll prioritize you guys. All right, have a nice day. Bye.